Suck this question. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's go. We ready. We ready. We ready. We ready. I'm going to the house. I'm going to the house. When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. Football is getting hit. That's it. It's gonna be football now. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's hunt now. Let's hunt now. Let's go. Let's hunt. We ready. I'm going to the house. I'm going to the house. We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this hollering, we the Miami Heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up the chin straps. It's embarrassing. Yeah. Don't disrespect the game like that. There's too much crying from him. He's a man. He can be a hit just like us. He's a man. You already make the big money. He's a man. Don't cry when you step on the field, man. That's what I did. When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. Oh, my bad. You haven't worked in my world. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We ready. I'm going to the house. I'm going to the house. It's a wrap. Game over.
No, this game is just getting started right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK. I am the all-new 92.3 FM. It is our winning Wednesday, and somebody's going to get a chance to win something today. I've got Dickey's Barbecue and coupons to give away. You can get yourself a free chopped beef sandwich, courtesy of the lunch break. Keep listening for that. You don't have to come in and get it. Give you the information. You can order it online, and you can get a free chopped beef sandwich courtesy of Dickey's Barbecue. Also, someone today is going to win a family 4-pack to the Houston Children's Museum reopening. That's right. They're about to reopen, and we've got a family 4-pack to give away today, and that's about a $200 value. That's about a $200 value. We're giving it away. All you got to do is listen here on the legendary KYOK AM 1140, 92.3 FM, and streaming live on KYOKradio.org. Want to appreciate everybody dialed in on Facebook, the Lunch Break Facebook page, the KYOK Radio Facebook page, all those that are checking us out on YouTube. Lunch Break with AJ and Twitter. How y'all doing this afternoon, depending upon where you are? We appreciate you joining us. All right, got to take my first break. I'll be right back with more right after this on the lunch break.
Hello, this is Claude Cummings Jr., Vice President of Communication Workers of America District 6. Trey and I are inviting you to listen in to our new political talk show, Power to the People Political Hour.
Hello, this is Trey Daniels from the Daniels Group. Yes, Claude, the show will be hard-hitting and informative, talking about national and local political issues of the day, week, and month. Interviews will be with pastors, community leaders, elected officials, and political operatives. You know, Claude, a part of our responsibility is informing the citizenry and give them power to the people.
That's right, Trey. We're asking that you listen in on 1140 AM, 92.3, or streaming on KYOKradio.org, Thursdays at 10 a.m.
Got to give the people time. Give the people what they want.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legend continues.
You're listening to Shiloh Radio, the legendary KYOK 1140 AM and the all-new 92.3 FM, where you will be encouraged, inspired, and ignited to reach your maximum potential in life through Jesus Christ with Shy.
Come on, everybody, clap like this. Clap like this.
All right, y'all, back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK. Let me get a drop. I got to get a drop.
I'm Ben Tankett, and you are listening to The Lunch Break.
All right, thank you, Ben Tankett. I appreciate you. I was trying to play something else that didn't work, so, already off with some technical difficulties. But listen, I'm just excited to be in the building right now, so y'all just keep listening. Again, got some great giveaways today. Family 4-pack to the Children's Museum in Houston. Hey, if you don't live in Houston, this one might be worth the trip. This one literally is worth the trip if you have been stuck in the house, for the last year and a half. You've been fully vaccinated. You want to drop all the kids in the car, drive over to Houston. I may have the solution for you. It's a family 4-pack to the Children's Museum. Got a very special interview coming up on Friday with Gilbert Andrew Garcia, president of Garcia Hamilton Associates and underwriter of the Children's Museum Fun Summer Vibe. That's a deal they got coming up at the Children's Museum. It's called Fun Summer Vibes, and we'll be talking with Gilbert Andrew Garcia, president of Garcia Hamilton and Associates, underwriter for the Children's Museum Fun Summer Vibes this coming Friday. Also got some special guests going to be joining me today. Her name is Rose Hope, and she's got a deal called Rose's Corner. She is a licensed therapist, a mental health consultant, and she's going to be joining us. Got to get her on because folks have literally taken this Naomi Osaka thing, and turned it into something. They just don't have any idea what they're talking about. And I'm talking about colleagues. I'm talking about journalists, broadcasters, TV folks, you name it. They have taken this thing in a whole different direction. And I would be remiss. I would be absolutely remiss if I did not get an expert in the field to come on and to let listeners know that what you're hearing and what you're seeing, unfortunately, happened to this amazing young lady is not the way it's supposed to be. It's not the way it's supposed to be. And I get it. You've got some very talented journalists out there. You got some very talented broadcasters out there that have won awards on awards on awards, and that doesn't make them a mental health expert. I don't care how many followers they have. I don't care how many views and clicks that they get. It does not make them a mental health expert. So when you hear them say stuff like, oh, she's out of line and she's out of pocket, and if that's the way she feels, then she ought to just quit playing tennis. No, she should be allowed to do whatever she's able to mentally, physically, whatever do for herself. But again, we got a lot of talking points that are just wrong, and we got to bring in Rose Hope to help kind of straighten some of that out. And I applaud my colleagues out there that are bringing those type folks in right now to strengthen the proper narrative. So we'll do that. Also, all heck is breaking loose over in Boston. They got run out of the building by the Brooklyn Nets last night, 123-109. Series over, 4-1, and the shakeup is happening as we speak. Reportedly, Danny Ainge is going to retire, step aside. I've been seeing some unbelievable writing of stuff that's been going on with him, but he's going to step aside. And we check my notes. Brad Stevens, the head coach of this Boston Celtic group, the one who didn't get over the hump, the one who didn't get them back to the finals, the one that did not bring another banner to the Gardens, is being promoted to the front office and is going to lead the search for a brand new head coach. Okay, that's one way to do it. I'm sorry, y'all know me. I make no bones about it. I have not been a Brad Stevens fan, but I will admit that I under and devalued his coaching career. He's done some things at Boston. He's What did he get? You get him the 3 out of the last 4 Eastern Conference Finals. I didn't realize that. I was so down on him that I lost sight of that, and I'm willing to admit it. In my opinion, his career has been worse than it was. And I'm willing to say I was wrong. I was wrong about that. But to say, hey, bro, even though you didn't get us over the hump in your current job, we believe in you so much that we want you to be the one to rebuild the organization. Wow. I mean, wow. I can't put it in any other terms, but that would be like Tillman Fertitta saying, hey, listen, Stephen Silas, I know you only won, 15 games? Or was it less than that? I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to make you a front office executive. We'll let you go out and search for the new head coach. We'll let you rebuild the organization from top to bottom, bottom to top, because we believe in you. And I know somebody said eyeball roll. Brad Stevens won many more games than Stephen Silas. What is it after first place? After first place, it's what? Second? Okay, after second place, it's what? Third, then fourth, then fifth. Brad Stevens is somewhere down there in the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. So in other words, if you didn't win the chip, it doesn't really matter all this other stuff. You didn't get the job done. We didn't hire you to have us come in third or fourth. But yet they see so much in him, they're going to promote him to the front office. You know what? Let me quit hating. Let AJ, somebody say AJ, stop hating. I'm going to stop hating. It's Winning Wednesday. Brad Stevens is winning. Brad Stevens is winning. Brad Stevens is doing so much winning that people are going to be like, oh, Brad, please don't win too much more. We can't take all the winning that you got going on, Brad, because you are winning. I don't know who Brad Stevens' godfather is, but I want a DNA test with that dude right there. I think he might be my pappy. I think I'll be that baby pappy. I think he might be I think that might be my pappy. I need that kind of godfather coverage, like right now. 281-453-1000 if you want in. 281-453-1000 if you want in. You can also text me 832-403-5005. That's 832-403-5005. I got to give some love to Kev the producer. Kev the producer over at the Texas Southern University. That dude is a bad young man. I mean, he is really doing some great things with the lunch break. I'm really excited about the things he has planned, to the point where I've got to give him some love. Kev, the producer, I know you're listening. Thank you, man. Thank you. All right, my special guest is about to join us. Give me a minute. Let me take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to have Rose's Corner right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM.
Tune in to Table Talk with your boy, TD Blackshear, every Tuesday from 10 to 11 a.m. on the legendary KYOK, 1140 a.m. and 92.3.
Rose, can you hear me?
See you there.
I can hear you.
Okay, great. I can hear you. Are we not going to get to see you this afternoon?
No, I have an avatar up. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see your avatar. Okay. This kind of affects the video effect of the call, which is going all around the world right now. So that's all.
Oh, I didn't know it was a.
Yeah, I sent you in my messages a couple of times that it's going to be a video call. So, but it's okay. We'll deal with it. My producer and program director ain't going to be happy, but we'll work with it. Stay right there. Coming to you in just a minute.
KYOK 92.3 FM. 2 radio stations in one.
The old way of living with diabetes is a pain. You've got to remember to do your testing, and you always need to be sticking your fingers. The new way to live your life with diabetes is with a continuous glucose monitor. You simply apply a discreet, easy-to-use sensor on your body, and it continuously monitors your glucose levels, helping you spend more time in range and freeing you from painful finger pricks. If you test your blood sugar at least 4 times per day and inject insulin at least 3 times per day, or use an insulin pump and have private insurance or Medicare, you might be eligible for a CGM with little or no cost to you. Call U.S. Medical Supply today for a free benefits check. We offer free shipping, 90-day supplies, and we bill Medicare or your insurance directly. Call now and say goodbye to finger pricks.
800-633-1378. 800-633-1378. 800-633-1378. That's 800-633-1378.
Hi, I'm Larry Scott, host of the Not So Christian and Me Show. Join me Saturdays for great fun, interviews, music, and the latest news surrounding our world today. We are the show that cares to hear your voice and opinion with real conversation in a no judgment zone. So join me Saturdays from 1 to 2 p.m. on the Not So Christian and Me Show, right here on the legendary KYOK Radio, 1140 AM, and the all-new 92.3 FM and KYOKradio.org.
Hey, what's going on? This is Lecrae, and right now you're listening to The Lunch Break.
All right, y'all, we're back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK, all new 92.3 FM. Streaming live around the world, KYOKradio.org, and you can check us out on Facebook, YouTube, and we're on Twitter. I like it. Appreciate Kev, the producer, getting that done. All right, without further ado, let me go to this amazing young lady who is joining us, and we appreciate you making time to be with us. We've got Rose Hope. She is a mental therapist consultant. She's a licensed therapist. And Rose, we appreciate you making time for us on the show. How are you today?
I am good. Thank you for having me.
All right. So, look, let's just get right to it. We just finished up Mental Health Awareness Month, and one of the most amazing athletes in the world, number one women's tennis player, Naomi Osaka, was playing in the French Open. And even before she got there, she said that she really didn't want to do live interviews with the media. Didn't say why, and ended up blowing one off, got fined $15,000. And that's when she revealed that she was having mental health issues. You being a professional in that field, give me your thoughts, give me your feelings on just that part alone.
It's still alarming that in 2021, there's still so much miseducation about how the mind and the body are connected. So I feel like there's kind of a different way this was looked at, because she didn't pull a muscle, she didn't sprain an ankle, that it's a mental health issue. She let them know beforehand. The mind affects the body. Your body can't do anything that your mind did not think of first. So to say that on the platform she's at, where she is an athlete, her body has to be in tip-top form. If her mind isn't functioning at that level, then it is a major concern that I feel like they should have taken a step back and looked at what, as we say in the mental health field, accommodations they could have provided for her, and not slap her with a fine, really just technically slapping her down to say, be quiet about this, and you have a quote unquote job to do. Her job is to play tennis, and her body is her meal ticket, but the mind is an important part of the body. It's not the body first, then the mind. They work together. So they just showed a complete lack of education about mental health in general.
Yeah, and I think that's where I really wanted to kind of get to today. I would hate to have all the great work that folks in your field do to bring awareness to mental health, and for an entire month, and really year round, but recognized nationally and worldwide on that given month, and then immediately at the end of it, we have one of the most egregious cases of misunderstanding and misinformation concerning mental health. As you said, all they cared about was, oh, it's her job. And the sanctioning organizations, oh, that's your obligation. You have to do that, to the point where we're going to fine you $15,000 for the first incident, and if you keep doing it, the fines will get bigger, up to and including possible suspensions and sanctions. And she finally just said, listen, this is all coming out the wrong way. I didn't want to bring any negative attention to this. I definitely don't want to bring any negative attention to the tournament of the sport. I'm going to just step away. But oh yeah, by the way, I'm stepping away because I've been suffering from mental health issues for the last several months.
Yes, she even reported since 2018 that she's been struggling with depression and anxiety. And if we examine what depression and anxiety, those specific diagnoses, and social anxiety at that, the press conference platform is a major trigger to anyone dealing with social anxiety if you're educated about it. Depression is something that doesn't go away. It's a chemical imbalance. There's a misinformation that I'm sad because I want to be sad. I feel bad. That's all it is. It's actually a medical and mental health condition combined, where it is a lack of connections in the brain that cause you to feel you have ups and you have downs. Another thing to point out is that people are saying, well, if she can play, she should be able to do the press conference. The thing about depression and anxiety that we thought we have learned in society over and over, you can't wear it on your face. You can't see, like if she broke her leg, we can see she broke her leg, but we can't really see when she's in a good place, when she's in a bad place, when she has been triggered, and when her anxiety has become overwhelming. And even to examine further, these press conferences, they are brutal and sometimes borderline disrespectful. She's been doing this since she was a child. So to say that, she's not doing her job, or it's a part of her job to do press conferences, we understand that. She never said that I will never do a press conference again. She said, I need a minute. I just need a minute. And she was not given that minute.
Yeah. And I got to be honest, for those who are just tuning in, we've got Rose Holt. She's a licensed therapist. She's a mental health consultant, and she's joining us here on the lunch break for our Winning Wednesday. I got to be honest, many in my field, broadcast journalists, radio announcers, television broadcasters, you name it, have not, I'm not saying that all of them, but there are several prominent ones who have not been kind to her, have not been accurate, literally saying that she's got it all wrong and that she needs the media, and the media give her a platform for, talking about mental health and what have you. And I think it's very short-sighted. I think it's very short-sighted that they think their importance in her stance or position is more important than her mental well-being.
Correct. And it's 2021. Let's even talk about what is her job. Her job is to play tennis. And so we do understand that, press conferences are a part of the job, but they don't really serve her. Right now with social media, and everyone has a social media platform, the dependence on the media platforms to promote these athletes has tremendously decreased over the years. So if she is able to play the game, which is the initial job, and she's saying that I have a diagnosis, I have a condition, can you work with me? She should be able to be allowed those accommodations. She is doing her job. This is an extra outside of her job. And so they came down hard on her. And not only that, they're worried about her doing her job. But we've seen all over social media, not just the French Open, but other social media, other platforms of social media, of these other organizations kind of mocking her, criticizing her decision before she even stepped down, that she's not big in tennis. It's, I heard someone say a narcissism and stuff like that, but she is doing her job, and she's been doing her job from childhood. As a child, dealing with these conditions. So if she never did a press conference, that's one thing. If she's always had, a negative relationship with the media, that's another thing. But she has done her job and her due diligence, and outside of that job, and she asked for a minute. She asked, let me get a minute to get myself together because my mind and my body are connected. I can't do my initial job, which is play tennis, if my mind is not together. And they said no, and we're going to slap a fine on you.
Yeah. Rose Hope joining us, licensed therapist, mental health consultant. On the lunch break, we obviously are talking about the Naomi Osaka situation, but it's so much bigger than that. It's so much bigger than that. And one of the questions, and I know the answer, one of the questions that I have, and many of our listeners have, why is it so hard for other people to accept when somebody else says, I've got a problem, and it's a mental problem? You know, we've got athletes that have come out like Kevin Love, DeMar DeRozan, Paul George, basketball players that have come out and talked about their battle with depression, talked about their, anxiety attacks and panic attacks, during games and stuff like that. And all we hear is, oh, well, they're not strong enough to do this and they're not strong enough to do that. We, of course, saw with Meghan Markle and her situation and her marriage to one of the most, well-known families in the whole wide world. And people literally attacked her and said, no, you didn't have mental health issues. You were just, like you said, a narcissist, or you just want to be in the limelight. Why is it so hard for people to accept that other folks don't process mental issues the way that they might?
Well, one, of course, it's the stigma. We have, movies and videos and things like that about what mental health should look like. So when you don't fit that mold, when you don't fit that build, then people start to doubt what you're saying is actually true. Also, our society is really built on the tangible, what we can see. Like I mentioned earlier, she broke her arm, broke her leg. We can see that she needs a minute to recover. People are more okay with that, but they can't really technically see anxiety. They can't see depression. So it's hard for these, organizations and society as, a whole to see that mental health is a real thing, but you can't do anything without your mind. So the mind is the central network of everything that we do. So to see such, shame being placed on someone that says, I need help. I know you guys can't really see it. It looks like I'm fine. It looks like I'm great. I'm, the number 2 ranked tennis player, all of that, but I still need help. I still have struggles. And people just can't seem to connect those two things together, that you don't have to look a certain way. You don't have to be, a movie role to actually have a mental illness.
Yeah. I and I apologize if this is not the right way to think about it. Not every head thinks the same way. Not every head processes the same way. And I just find it hard that everybody feels like, or a lot of people feel like, well, I wouldn't deal with that, so you shouldn't deal with it either. Or I got over that, or you should be able to get over it too. And let me just throw this out, in my other life, I'm a pastor. And I gotta be honest, we've been some of the worst when it comes to mental health, because now it's all about you ain't praying hard enough and you must be living wrong. And, maybe you need to fast and pray. And maybe we need to lay hands on you and pour oil on you. And it's like, no, maybe we need to refer you to a professional where you can have, your faith and a therapist. You can have your Jesus and a therapist. So,
Correct.
Talk about that a little bit if you can.
Let me piggyback on that. So let's look at people who have, high blood pressure, high blood sugar. Some of them are able to change their diet, change their lifestyle, and they don't need medication, and they never get to full-blown diabetes. Other people are not able to do that, and they need to utilize, medications, more doctor's appointments, a higher level of interventions to deal with their diabetes, and it's the same thing. So if someone with a mental health disorder, you're placed in a situation that's, stressful and anxiety-ridden for everyone, some people are better able to handle that, and some people are not. And as far as when we go to the religious aspect of it, mental illness is not something that needs to be prayed away. If you're a believer, you believe that there's some people put on this earth with gifts. So the fact that people are struggling with that, a gift could be the right provider. A gift could be the right professional that has the gift that you're able to deal with the situation and able to help and heal others. That's the way it should be framed as far as the Christian community.
I appreciate it. We got Rose Hope joining us here on the lunch break. She's a mental health consultant. She's a licensed therapist, and she's joining us here on our Winning Wednesday. All right, let's take the focus off of the, folks that don't understand it, that, have literally just gotten it wrong, make it harder. Somebody right now is struggling. Somebody right now is seeing how Naomi Osaka, it's like, man, if the number 1 tennis player in the world is being attacked like that, I don't stand a chance. what would you say to those folks who are trying to seriously, get their mental health under some type of manageable control?
Well, definitely, I would advocate to seek help. And there's a lot of ways to seek help. And that's really what my blog is about, getting the information out there to people who don't know, how do I seek help? Where do I go? How much is even, a session cost? Where do I go to even get treatment? So I would encourage them to seek some type of intervention. Go speak to someone, go in for what we call an intake assessment. It doesn't mean that you're labeled. It doesn't mean that a diagnosis is stuck on you that first time. It just means to go and see out, where can I get just a preliminary assessment? And, Naomi is obviously a public figure. But for those of us who are not, you can do it in private. You can, Google something. You can ask your employer for your HR information, your employee assistance benefits, and things of that nature, and see what out there can I use and just get an assessment and see, do I need treatment and what interventions are out there for me?
Yeah, no, I'm glad you shared that because, again, like you said, there's plenty of help out there. And don't feel bad about reaching out and getting it. Now you've got telehealth and all kinds of different ways where you can, get some evaluation as well as some consultation virtually, as opposed to, having to take off from the job and do all these different things. There's so many ways to get access to it now, correct?
Yes, there's so many ways to get access to it now. And with the pandemic, there's a lot of negative things that came with the pandemic, but in the mental health field, organizations and providers that did not usually do virtual or telehealth type of services have now figured out a way that you can see someone from their home, you can talk to them over the phone, and it can be covered by your insurance. So now these things are out there. Now they're actually covered by insurance, when previously, before COVID-19, a lot of these services you had to walk in or take time off from work. Now on your lunch break, you can click, the link to your phone and have a full session and have a full consultation, and then you can decide, do I want to continue this? Is this the right provider for me? Another thing that I do want to throw in there when seeking a provider, because it is discouraging if, let's say, the first provider you meet isn't a good fit, make sure you do your research, because us as providers, we work for you. And when you find the right provider that's a fit for you culturally, your lifestyle, your belief system, then you have a higher chance of sticking with therapy and actually getting something out of it. So try more than one provider, more than one assessment, and there are benefits out there that some of these assessments are free or almost covered by 100%, at least 80% by insurance.
Rose Hope, she is a mental health therapist. She's a licensed therapist, and she's given us really good information today. And I let me amen what you just said. I have a therapist that I've had for a long time. And look, I went through a lot of heck and high water to find him. And I went to him a couple of years ago and said, hey, man, let's start up some regular therapy. He's like, oh, I'm working on another project, so I'm going to refer you to somebody. It's like, man, don't refer to me to nobody I don't like now. It took me a long time to get used to you, so don't be sending me to a random. And I told the young lady when I sat with her virtually, I said, all right, now, I'm coming from, who I'm coming from. And I told him, I don't want no junk. And she just laughed. So, again, like I said, finding the right match is what's most important, as opposed to just feeling like, oh, they don't get me, they don't understand me. Make sure that you find the right match for you. I got a couple other questions, if you don't mind. Do you have a few more minutes to stay with us?
Yes, sure. Go ahead.
I've got to take a quick break. When I come back, I want to kind of get some clarity on, a mental health consultant, a licensed therapist versus a psychiatrist versus a psychologist, psychoanalyst, those kind of things, because I think there's some confusion in that as well. And if you don't mind, I'd like to have you help clear that up for us. Can you do that?
Yes, I can. No problem.
All right, y'all. We'll be right back with Rose Hope. Very good guest joining us here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK. If you have questions and you want to call, or you can now she can't give you therapy over the phone today, but if you got general questions, you can text me 832-403-5005, or you can call 281-453-1000. It's the lunch break on the legendary KYOK.
1140 AM and 92.3 FM, the legendary KYOK.
If your loved one has passed away due to COVID-19, pay close attention to this message. You could be entitled to a death benefit of over $300,000. The U.S. government has set up a fund to pay families relief if they've lost a loved one due to COVID-19. We know this is a hard time for you, and this fund has been set up by the federal government to help ease your pain. The compensation includes a death benefit and lost wages benefit. Time is limited, so we urge you to make a free phone call right now. There's no cost to you for this claim. All legal fees are only covered once you receive your money. So if you've lost a loved one due to COVID-19, call the legal helpline right now to find out if you qualify for a cash award. Here's our number: 800-876-7047. 800-876-7047. 800-876-7047. That's 800-876-7047. Paid for by the IPG Law Group.
This is Brian Courtney Wilson, and you're listening to The Lunch Break.
All right, y'all, back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK, AM 1140, 92.3 FM, streaming live on KYOKradio.org. You also get us on Facebook, get us on YouTube and Twitter. Appreciate having the opportunity to broadcast on that platform. Again, want to thank Kev, the producer, for that. All right, joining us today, we've got Rose Hope. She is a mental health consultant. She's a licensed therapist, and she is really helping us today with some valuable information in light of what happened with Naomi Osaka and dropping out of the French Open after being fined $15,000 for not wanting to talk to the media because of mental health issues. Do me a favor, kind of give us a little bit of what is a psychiatrist versus a psychologist versus a licensed therapist versus a mental health consultant, and anything else that title, life coach is another one that we're seeing a lot of. Give me an idea of what all those different titles mean.
Okay, I will start at the top, basically. Okay. So a psychiatrist can prescribe. So they are a doctor, they are a medical professional, and they prescribe medication. Usually psychiatrists do not do talk therapy, which is what most people are familiar with, the hour to, maybe 45-minute sessions where you sit on a couch and you speak to someone and you work through your issues. So a psychiatrist does not do that. They're there primarily to discuss medication, prescribe medication, make sure you don't have any side effects, and that's it. So that session would be more equivalent to when you go see your PCP, every couple of months. Those appointments are usually once a month. They just make sure you're not having any side effects or anything like that. A licensed therapist, which can be an LPC or a licensed clinical social worker. So you might see LMSW or LPC. Those are master's level therapists. Now, those are the people that you sit with for the hour and 45 minutes on the couch and speak with, and they discuss your issues and you work through your problems more so on a long-term basis. So you see those, professionals usually either could be twice a week, once a week, but definitely several times in the month. Now, a psychologist actually can do the same thing as an LPC and a licensed master or licensed clinical social worker, but they do a lot of assessments. So if you need a initial assessment or you have more so maybe a behavioral issue and things along that line, you need an assessment only, then you start sometimes with a psychologist. They can do talk therapy for the 45 to 60 minutes, but they also specialize in assessments. Life coaching is a relatively newer profession. You can have a license for it, but it's not the same schooling. Like I said, a psychiatrist is a medical degree or an MD. A therapist and social worker, they are master's level, so a master's degree. A life coach, really anyone with a passion, and they can go through several schools that have popped up now within the last 10 years and become a licensed life coach, but it's not really something that is as regulated or as old a profession as talk therapy and psychiatry.
Okay, and I appreciate you doing that. That's Rose Hope. She is a mental health consultant, licensed therapist, joining us. Somebody just text me, AJ, ask her about a certified Christian counselor. What about them?
Certified Christian counselors, they are actually licensed master's level therapists as well. When you go to school, you pick what your specialty is, and certain schools you can specialize specifically in Christian counseling. So to become a counselor and a Christian counselor, it is a master's level degree. Now, there are people who sometimes operate without a license, but in all things, anyone can say they're anybody. So it's good to do your research. There's a board for everything. Look up, is this person actually licensed, or is it more, mom and pop shop? They feel like they give good advice, and, that sort of thing. Make sure you're actually seeing a regulated person.
Rose, I'm glad you said that, because, I'll take my car to a shade tree mechanic. I'm definitely not going to take my heart and my mental health to a shade tree therapist. So you're right. There are all kinds of boards and places you can call to verify credentials, and that's probably a real good thing to do. I got another question here that came via text message. This person wants to know, how young is too young to be able to determine if there are mental health issues?
Really, early intervention is key. So a lot of diagnosis, you don't get diagnosed till you're a little bit older. But let's say below, maybe 8 to 10 years old, some of these diagnoses progress into other things. So early intervention is the key. As early as, 3 years old, you can start taking your child to a psychologist for that assessment we talked about earlier to see, is this an intellectual disability, which is a little bit different, or is this the beginning of a mental health disorder? Some of these hardcore diagnoses we hear about, like depression, bipolar disorder, they're not diagnosed till you're a little bit older, obviously for obvious reasons, communication, and you need time to observe behavior. But if you have any type of thought that, something is a little bit off, or there are behaviors that, need intervention as a parent, as early as 3 years old, you can take your child to a psychologist and see, what type of interventions can take place. So everything isn't just mental health only. There's intellectual disabilities as well. So you want to make sure that you're getting the right treatment for your child for the right diagnosis.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Rose Hope joining us here on the lunch break. This person just texted in and wanted to know what your thoughts are on group therapy versus individual therapy.
I was a group therapist for a while, so I will give you kind of the ins and outs about that. So group therapy really just depends on your personality. It is very effective, but if you're somebody who's shy, obviously you're dealing with social anxiety, group therapy may not be the best place to start your treatment. Starting with an individual therapist and then working your way up to that may be more effective. A group therapy is a place where you can look at other people who are struggling with what you're struggling with, exchange ideas, kind of consult. It's really support. If you don't have a big support system, I definitely would recommend group therapy. Everyone doesn't have a bunch of people in their lives that they can talk to about their mental issue, or some people don't want to talk to, their significant others or people close to them about their mental health issue. So group therapy is a way to meet people from all walks of life and kind of have that community and extra support system, which is definitely crucial with any mental illness.
Yeah. Okay. I've got one more question. This one was sports related, so I definitely wanted to get it in. This mother says that her child is a prominent athlete and has some of the same issues as Naomi Osaka. She wants to know if she should seek a sports therapist as opposed to a psychotherapist.
Yes, and that's kind of what we said we're talking about before. Make sure you find the right fit and the right specialty. Every provider is not familiar with sports. They don't understand the importance of it. So you want someone who understands the importance and your lifestyle. And sports therapists do exist, and they are master's level therapists as well, and they have a specialty specifically in sports. So they do exist. And so I would encourage you to seek somebody who speaks the language, who understands what you're going through and shares the same, thought process and, theories that you do about therapy and your lifestyle.
I'm glad to hear you answer that, because I have, I know professional athletes who got sports therapists to help them get over a certain hump in their career or a certain breakthrough when they're, being challenged and being able to, not get anxious and not get intimidated, but be able to fight through and try and win, of course, their level of championship. But I never thought about that when it came to interviewing and, dealing with anxiety and panic attacks in situations like that.
Oh yeah, it's brutal. Just the whole setup is brutal. It's a little bit outdated. It's a firing squad. So most of the time you sit there, some questions are appropriate, some questions may not be appropriate. And then with social media, if you have a mental illness, you might look okay on camera, but these individuals sometimes will go back and watch that footage over and over and over again. And can you imagine what that can do to the psyche, that this is out here forever, whether you felt like you did well, you did poorly. So it is really a skill and something that needs to be addressed on how to deal with that, in order to maintain your mental health and sanity.
Rose Hope, you are amazing. We appreciate you making the time to be with us here on the lunch break to help make some of this make sense. I'm a firm believer in lifting up folks like Naomi Osaka, like Kevin Love, and some of the other ones. I remember Ricky Williams out of the University of Texas, who used to wear his helmet to these pool meeting interviews where all these people are around him and not realizing that was probably the worst position to put him in. And his one safety was to have his helmet on while he was doing those interviews. So you really have helped us today. Can you do me a favor? Can you tell everybody how they can find you and follow you and maybe reach out to you if they need more information on how to handle some mental health issues for themselves?
You can follow me on Instagram, Rose's Corner with the Z. And also there's a link to my blog where I just give out, general information that is really hard to find just Googling or looking on your own about the ins and outs of mental health. So that's Rose's Corner. You can look me up on Instagram.
Rose's Corner. I like it. I like that you got that Z in there. Rose, what made you get into this business? How did you get started in it?
Well, as my parents tell it, I had a private practice from when I was 6 years old. So I was a little girl with all the other little girls, had their little issues. I'd be on the phone for hours giving away free therapy. This boy don't like me or whatnot. And, I can't stand her, and trying to bring everyone together and bring peace. So I was literally in my closet taking notes. So it's something that I always wanted to do for a while. But there was a stigma behind it that, back when I started out, that mental health wasn't a critical part of the medical field when I first got into this. And, they pushed me more so towards, society, towards nursing or something more mainstream medical. But, I decided to stick with it. And this is definitely, my passion.
Well, Rose, you do a great job. This is my first time meeting you. I appreciate Dr. Kim Negrete for setting us up together. Thank you so much. And we're going to have you back. If you're ever doing anything that you'd like to share with us, you definitely reach out to me. We'll get you back on the lunch break, okay?
Oh, no problem. You have a good afternoon.
All right, y'all. Rose Hope, she is amazing. Did a great job in giving us the information that we needed to know. All I'll say is this, for those who, don't understand what Naomi Osaka was going through, I'll just ask you this. Just because you don't understand it, don't try to sound like an expert on it. Don't try to sound like an expert on it. And you do a great job at writing articles. You do a great job at holding down the 6 o'clock edition of Sports Center. You do a great job of calling the games. You do a great job of taking care of your family. You do a great job of being you. Sometimes we're so good at being ourselves that we think we can be experts at other people's stuff, and let this be the one area that we're more cautious about. Mental health is an area that we're still trying to understand and still trying to treat and properly diagnose and what have you. And the last thing you want to do is be the negative effect in that. There's this thing called the butterfly effect, where you affect one thing and it affects everything in another time zone or generation or whatever. You don't want to mess somebody up so bad that they can never recover, all because we had an opinion that was literally not necessary to give, and it was wrong in theory and principle. I mean, I'm just saying. So my thoughts and sincere prayers are with Naomi. My thoughts and sincere prayers are with the Kevin Loves and the Paul Georges and the DeMar DeRozans and others, because there are probably many of ladies and men out there that won't say a word because they see how we treat those folks. So that's just my 2 cents. Just my 2 cents. All right, let me get Sybil Wilkes on here with what you need to know today, and then we'll get back to the show. Don't forget, I've got a family 4-pack to give away to the Children's Museum right here in Houston, and you'll have a chance to win that. So just stick and stay right here on the lunch break. It is Winning Wednesday on the legendary KYOK.
Only be hiring people who are
All right, let me do that again. Let me get her started again.
It's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know. The CEO of Delta Airlines, Ed Bastian, announced that the company will only be hiring people who are vaccinated. New applicants will be asked their vaccination status, Bastian said, while encouraging all current employees to get the shot. The airline will also continue to require passengers to wear masks on planes and will reevaluate after the federal mandate ends in September. More than 70% of current or recent CEOs at major companies said in March they're open to requiring vaccines. Nearly 60% of adults in the U.S. have received at least one dose of COVID-19 vaccine, and more than 47% of adults are fully vaccinated. Vermont boasts the nation's highest vaccination rate, with nearly 70% of its residents having received at least one dose. Massachusetts lifted a mask requirement Saturday, a day after New Jersey dropped its mandate. In New York City and Chicago, officials reopened public beaches. I'm Sybil Wilkes. Be informed, be empowered.
Beautiful people, this is Major. This is why I love you on the lunch break.
All right, y'all, back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK, all new 92.3 FM, streaming live on KYOKradio.org. Really enjoyed that guest, really enjoyed her information, really enjoyed the dialogue. And again, I wanted to shift the attention off of those who just don't get it, don't understand it, or have a contrary opinion that somebody should be able to do their job even if they can't do the interviews. One doesn't have to be dependent or hinge on the other. But again, I know 280 characters, you got to have something to say, right? Right. Brooklyn finalized and finished off the Boston Celtics 123-109, won the series 4-1, had an amazing ripple effect. Danny Ainge stepping down. Brad Stevens being promoted. He's going to be leading the search for the new head coach and get bumped up to the front office. Phoenix is on the verge of eliminating LeBron James and the LA Lakers after beating them 115-85 last night. They're up 3-2. If they knock off LeBron, a LeBron-led team, we'll call it like that, it'll be first time in 15 tries. Game 6 tomorrow night, 9:30 Central. And then Denver beat Portland 147-140 in double overtime, and Dame Dollar went off. 55 points, 10 assists, and they lost. I know he mad. I'm mad for him. Anyway, we'll talk about all that in the second hour right here on the lunch break.
The legendary 1140 AM KYOK Conroe and 92.3 FM K222CX Houston.
The views and opinions expressed on all radio shows broadcast on KYOK are entirely those of the host, guests, and callers, who are entirely responsible for all show content and do not in any way reflect the opinions of KYOK Radio, its sponsors, staff, or management.
Walk out on that field today. Ask yourself this question. What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! We ready! We ready! We ready! We ready! I'm going to the house! I'm going to the house! When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. Football is getting hit. That's it. It's gonna be football now. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's hunt now. Let's hunt now. Let's go. Let's hunt. We ready. I'm going to the house. I'm going to the house. We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this, how like we the Miami Heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up the chin straps. It's embarrassing. Yeah. Don't disrespect the game like that. It's too much crying from him. He's a man. They can be hit just like us. He's a man. You already make the big money. He's a man. I'm proud when you step on the field, man. That's who I did. When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. Oh, my bad. Your bad don't work in my world. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's go. Let's go, by God. Let's go. We ready? I'm going to the house. I'm going to the house. It's a wrap. Game over.
No, that's just the first hour on the books, second hour underway right here on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. It is our Winning Wednesday, and I've got a family 4-pack to give away to the Children's Museum of Houston. They are reopening, and they are ready for you to come back. Legendary KYOK and the all-new 90. Uh-oh, that was me. I heard me.
That was me. That was me. I had it playing.
That's okay. That's all right, y'all. You know my special guest is back. We have none other than I am Valencia King. You know the vibe. I gotta get
the vibes.
I gotta get you some intro music too, like I do Chris Gardner, Houston Round Ball Review. You know, we can't have you come on to my little dry stuff. But Valencia, we're giving away a family 4-pack to the Children's Museum of Houston. It's going to be opening up, and there's a new thing coming up called the Fun Summer Vibes, and we're going to interview the president of that underwriter, Gilbert Andrew Garcia. We're going to do that on Friday, but I'm giving away that family 4-pack today. So somebody's going to feel the vibe. Somebody's going to feel the love. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
First of all, how you doing?
I am doing well. Thank you for asking. How are you?
I'm doing well. I appreciate you dropping some love for us on Twitter about our last guest.
Yeah,
she was good. I liked her.
Really enjoyed it. And I appreciate people texting in to ask those questions about the differences of counselors and therapists and what kind of range and genre they may be in, because that's helpful information, because even in anyone who's maybe trying to look into it, it's a lot to look into. And so you just kind of need those questions answered so you know where to start.
Absolutely. Yeah, we had several text messages that came in, so I was glad to be able to get to a few of those. What's going on in Boston, though? What? Look, Brooklyn and them done run everybody out the club. They done threw everybody out the gardens.
Yes, and yes. And I know I already knew that you were gonna, talk about good old Brad. I know that's your distant buddy.
Wait a minute, hold on. I feel so attacked right now. I'm happy for Brad. It's Winning Wednesday. Brad is definitely winning on Wednesday. I mean, come on now. Come on.
I gave this some thought beforehand because I figured this would be a talking point. And I've now decided that Brad has something on Boston, which is why they can't let him go. That's my new theory.
Bro, I'm calling you bro. Niece. He got a godfather. He got one of the people sitting in front of a restaurant talking about they just a businessman. I'm saying he got somebody that knows somebody that can do something to somebody if they try to do something to Brad. That dude is...
Listen, maybe Brad, maybe he's a distant cousin of the mafia or something, because, It could. I don't. It's something. Somebody. If something happens to Brad, then that means somebody's going to swim with the fishes, and no one wants to swim with the fishes. So you got to forget about it. I don't know.
So which is why I'm kind of backing down on my attacks on Brad, because I don't need nobody rolling up on me saying, "Listen, you say one more thing about Brad Whitey Bulger, and you just gonna be swimming." I'll swim with fishes. Okay, I just don't. So I'm trying. So I feel like I have undervalued and devalued his career. He has gotten to 3 out of 4 Eastern Conference Finals, from what I understand. My bad. I didn't give credit for that. That ain't easy to do. But when you look at all the championships that they had in Boston, you look at what Doc got them to 2 NBA Finals, won 1, lost 1. So I guess I expected more out of Brad, since that was the heir apparent. That was the golden child. That was the one who was supposed to bring the Banners back to Boston, and he didn't do that.
Well, yes and no, because oftentimes we do look at the past to try to see where we can go in the future. But when Doc had Boston, that was a different type of basketball. The players he had then, they don't make them like that anymore. Okay, I know Jason went off for 50 and whatnot, but Jason not what Doc had, So it's just these players they're just not built the same. But the game has evolved. The refereeing has evolved. Some say for worse or for better, but the thing is that it's changed. So think about Brad as a coach. Brad would not be coaching in the late 80s, early 90s. Brad, who was Brad leading? Who's listening to Brad? Who's listening to good old Bradley?
No. Look, Robert Parrish would look at him and say, "What? Wait, what? What'd you say? Move." Just move.
Go get. They would assume you're the water boy. Bradley, go get my water. They wouldn't even know his name.
Look, Danny is the cute one. You move.
You move. Move on. Yeah. Move along, bruh.
Yeah.
So it's just different.
I'm happy for him. I'm happy he's getting bumped up. But, can I make it personal for a second?
Of course.
It's kind of like the Bill O'Brien effect. Like, you won a bunch of AFC South championships, and they decided that translated into you being the whole general manager of the whole team. You get to pick people, you get to fire people, you get to hire people. You running the whole show, and the best you ever did was win the district high school champ. Brad Stevens, I get 3 out of 4 Eastern Conference Finals, but where in that says you need to run the whole show. We're going to rebuild it exactly the way you want it rebuilt, when you couldn't win with the way it was built in the first place.
Well, again, my new theory is that he's got ties to the mafia and he's got something on them. But we know, okay, all joking aside, we know that Brad Stevens knows basketball. We know that he can coach. We know that he can create team chemistry and help those things along. So maybe with my theory, maybe without my theory, they're thinking he can do that from a different position and have somebody else get them a little further in the forefront. So, because I understand you're saying he didn't get them to the promised land, the final destination of it, but it's not like he didn't do nothing.
I mean, he did something, but he didn't do what he was supposed to do. He didn't do what he was hired to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna leave it alone. So in other words, now tell me to be quiet. Just tell me to be quiet. Just say
no. Say it loud. What's on your mind? What's on your mind?
I'm broadcasting live on Twitter now, and I'm scared of Twitter. I'm scared of some of the people on Twitter. They come for you with a whole different level of vengeance, whether you sent for them or not. I ain't trying to make this about race. I promise I'm not. I swear for God. But listen, so what we gonna do? We gonna make Jason Kidd a front office exec now? That's what we finna do?
Listen.
We're finna make Mark Jackson a front office executive now, because that's the new thing. Now, you didn't win no championships, but now you get to rebuild a whole front office. So Byron Shaw, Jason Kidd, I'm just saying, is that what we can ready to do?
That is exactly what they're getting ready to do. And of course, my theory of him being tied to the mafia is a jokingly manner of saying exactly what you're saying. You are permitted more opportunities in this good old land of America.
I didn't say
a certain way.
I didn't say critical race theory. I didn't say racism. I didn't say white privilege. I didn't say none of that. I'm just asking questions like, so if that's what we're doing in Boston, so now Jason Kidd could be the whole front office executive for the Milwaukee Bucks because remember, he didn't get them to the promised land, but, you know, he could be the front office dude.
Now, you know, just listen, we're asking questions here. So just correct me if I'm wrong. Is Brad Stevens a former NBA Hall of Famer or something that I missed? Was he out there on defense and offense and running X's and O's? And did I miss something? Because
I got something in my eye. Oh yeah, there it is. Heck no.
Right. I just want to make sure that I didn't miss that season that he was shining so bright. But when you talk about Jason Kidd, like at minimum, at least he has done, you know what I mean? He know a little bit of that side. But I get what you're saying. Overall, it's like, okay, if we're doing this, then are we just going to do everything else that comes along with it? And they might. It's a business. We know how it operates. It's America. We know how that operates. They might just run with it.
I think now would be a good time to take a break, and I'm going to get myself together. I'm going to get myself together for the very next day because when I see stuff like this, I forget what to say. I'll be right back on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK. For those who don't know Lil Jodeci, I'll be right back on the legendary KYOK, the all-new 92.3 FM. I got my niece with me, y'all. I am Valencia King on the lunch break.
Hello, this is Claude Cummings Jr., Vice President of the Communication Workers of America District 6. Trey and I are inviting you to listen in to our new political talk show, Power to the People Political Hour.
Hello, this is Trey Daniels from the Daniels Group. Yes, Claude, the show will be hard-hitting and informative, talking about national and local political issues of the day, week, and month. Interviews will be with pastors, community leaders, elected officials, and political operatives. You know, Claude, a part of our responsibility is informing the citizenry and give them power to the people.
That's right, Trey. We're asking that you listen in on 1140 AM, 92.3, or streaming on KYOKradio.org, Thursdays at 10 a.m.
Give the people what they want.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legend continues.
Hey, what's up? This your boy James Fortune, and you are listening to The Lunch Break. Keep it locked.
This gonna be your song right here. This gonna be your thing. All eyes on me. Okay, all right, I'm gonna leave it alone. Listen, we're back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK, all new 92.3 FM. We stream live on KYOKradio.org 24/7, and you can get us on Facebook, you can get us on YouTube, and now you can get us on Twitter. I appreciate Kev, the producer, for making it happen. I got to introduce you to this young man. First of all, he looks like he might be 15. He's a sophomore at Texas Southern, and he wears like vintage clothing. So he's got this old Kangol, and he's got different ones. And I think he wears it every day. And then he's got, different, clothes that's like, man, did your granddaddy give you those clothes? But that's his style, and
right.
He's brilliant. He's brilliant. He's like, Mr. AJ, I see what you're trying to do, but this is what you need to do. And he always tries to try to give me a little bit of respect, like, you don't know what you're doing, so let me help you do this. And I just like the way he handles me. And he's a behind-the-scenes dude. He don't want to be on no mic. He don't want to be on no camera. And he texts me nonstop, like, okay, don't do that. Sit up straight. Okay, Mr. AJ, are you trying to sound like you didn't go to nobody's school? I like him. I really like him a lot. I really like him a lot because he forms it in a question where I got to answer it myself as opposed to say, you sound real dumb. Okay, right. So yeah, I probably need to conjugate my verbs correctly because Kev, the producer, said, yeah, you is that what you want to do? Because it ain't working.
Gotcha. You need people like that. You really do. They check your blind spots. They're like, okay, I see what you're going. I see the direction, but is that the vision? And if not, let's redirect. We need people like that.
Right. He likes the whole T-shirt idea that I do. He said, but you still got to throw in your brand. So throw in a couple of your lunch break shirts and what have you. And he's like, and get some new ones because you've lost a little weight and you don't need your granddaddy. I'm like, yo, Kev, you okay now? You're gonna graduate and you're gonna miss me when you're gone. So anyway, so Valencia, let's get back to this now. Brooklyn eliminated Boston 4-1. 123-109. James Harden had the nerve to go up there and get his first postseason triple-double. 34 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. Folks in Houston mad. They can't stand him. They don't like him no more. Kyrie Irving had 25. Kevin Durant 24. But here's the thing. They've got Milwaukee next.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's a difference between postseason and regular season. Last 2 times they met Milwaukee in the regular season, Milwaukee said, bye-bye, get on out of here with all that. But they weren't full strength. They didn't have all 3 of the guys. So now, starting Saturday, we got a whole new series, and it counts.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts? What are you thinking? What are you thinking when you think about how Giannis is playing and how Middleton is playing and other guys are playing, and then what you see out of Brooklyn?
So I'm torn between saying Milwaukee, ride the confidence. You proved your point to Miami. That was a year-long revenge trail that you were on.
Right.
And then on the flip side, saying, humble yourselves. This is a new competitor. You might have to tweak some things. Let's not treat them like they just came from out the street. Right. You know, I'm torn between that because it's what you want to tell people, you know, stay in your confidence, but you want to be like, all right, now don't get too high. But I think Milwaukee being professionals and showing that they can come together as a team for a common goal, even if it was just to beat Miami down, that they can, you know, they can respect their opponent while still getting the job done. So I don't think Milwaukee is going to stay too high and think that they're going to sweep the Brooklyn Nets. I would hope that they would consider them a top tier contender and get ready for the battle of a series. I believe it's going to be. So I'm borderline between, you know, ride your confidence, but all right, not too much.
You know, Valencia King, host of Real Talk, Real Sports and The Dialogue, joining us on the show. I agree with you. I agree with you wholeheartedly. They beat Miami like it was personal. Like you said, my mom was fat to her face, and now I got to show you what it's all about. And they beat them like that. And no shade at Jimmy Butler and all the other guys, but they got to retool that. Let me help Miami. Kawhi Leonard. Let me help Miami. But Milwaukee now you got the personal stuff out. Now it's the business stuff. Now it's back to business. And Milwaukee has a chance to be, I hate to do comparisons, but let me, for the sake of the analogy, Milwaukee has a chance to be like Cleveland was when they came back from a 3-1 deficit and beat the unbeatable Golden State Warriors. Like they might not have the names on paper and they might not quote unquote be as good as Kevin Durant, as James Harden, as Kawhi Leonard, as Kyrie Irving, but you ain't trash either. You can win this series if you do what you do well and impede their progress. Am I crazy? Am I wrong? What am I thinking?
You're not crazy. I'm just kind of like your stance on LeBron. Until somebody beats him, you don't know if it's going to happen.
Right.
I would need to see it happen because I'm thinking of Milwaukee. Okay, Giannis, not really guardable. You just got to do the best you can. Chris Middleton, they got some people on Brooklyn that can guard Chris Middleton. No shade, but you know they do. But when you think about all the people that you can't guard on Brooklyn, so I think it's a little bit more. When I look at the matchup, it's like, okay, it's more of a challenge on this side to stay committed for a full 48 minutes defensively against guarding these people because it's one-on-one assignments. And then if you do try to double, you like who okay, if your focus is on Kyrie, we want anyone but Kyrie taking a shot. Oh, Brooklyn doesn't care. They're like, okay. You can't, you know, look at them as you would a quote unquote normal team with only 1 or 2 stars. It's just not set up like that.
I'm with you. But I guess it comes down to there are a lot of people that said that Golden State Warrior team was just unbeatable. 73, regular season wins. And they did the one thing that nobody thought that they could do. They lost. And it took them to go out and get Kevin Durant to go with the unbeatable team for them to become, quote unquote, unbeatable again. I love what I see on Brooklyn's squad, but then they're not unbeatable, right?
I don't think they're unbeatable. I don't. But I think Milwaukee has to know, if you don't beat them now, when are you going to beat them? This is the prime time to beat them in their first season together, when they're still, quote unquote, figuring it out. Because Milwaukee has to try to, again, like in the bubble, trying to take advantage of, okay, LeBron is not here. Okay, let's do this. So now you got LeBron out the way, but if you don't beat Brooklyn this year and they stay together like it looks like they might, when do you plan on beating them? When?
Yeah. So before I take this quick break, obviously there's no person for person, but Kevin Durant and Giannis will kind of, not nullify each other, but one of them will have the better game in one given series, one better game in the series or not. And then you've got James Harden and Middleton. Obviously, Middleton is not a point-for-point competitor to James Harden, but they're going to be, that will be that matchup. And then you got Kyrie Irving and Drew Holiday. You got Kyrie Irving and Drew Holiday versus Kyrie Irving and that dude that they shipped over to New Orleans. And I'm not knocking him. Bledsoe's a good dude. Bledsoe plays hard. Bledsoe gives you that defense, but Bledsoe doesn't give you that scoring.
Right.
And Drew is one of those point guards who can really get the ball to people where they need it to do the best they can with it, but he can also score and he can also defend. So it's not like they're going to be able to drop off of him like they just flat out say, we ain't guarding Eric Bledsoe. He can do what he want to do. And then we can keep Giannis out of the lane. That's going to kill that. And then it was all on Middleton and a young DiVincenzo and those guys. That's not the case anymore with this Milwaukee team.
Right. No, you're right. Drew Holiday is like what I like to call a sleeper pick. You can forget if you want to, but he's going to remind you.
Right.
And by the time you feel like you're reminded, it might be a little bit too late. So, yeah.
Okay. I just feel like it's going to be a more interesting matchup than folks. I got people asking me, so is anybody going to be able to beat Brooklyn? Heck yeah. Yeah, there's a couple of teams left in it that can beat Brooklyn, to me. So anyway, let's take this quick break. We'll come back and let's jump over here to the West when we come back with Valencia King on the lunch break. If you want to in 281-453-1000, 281-453-1000. You can text me 832-403-5005. It is the lunch break on the legendary KYOK.
Lord have mercy. Tune in to Table Talk with your boy, TD Blackshear, every Tuesday from 10 to 11 a.m. on the legendary KYOK, 1140 a.m. and 92.3 FM. See you there.
In need of tires? Check out OMG Tire Services and more. New and used tires, all the name brands you desire, located at 3126 Tidwell between 59 North and Jensen. Give them a call at 832-767-3211. Top-notch service from beginning to end. When you're done, get your car hand-washed inside and out at OMG Tire Services and more. Located at 3126 Tidwell between 59 North and Jensen. Call 832-767-3211. That's 832-767-3211. Conveniently located on the north side.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM. The legendary KYOK 92.3 FM. Two radio stations in one.
The old way of living with diabetes is a pain. You've got to remember to do your testing, and you always need to be sticking your fingers. The new way to live your life with diabetes is with a continuous glucose monitor. You simply apply a discreet, easy-to-use sensor on your body, and it continuously monitors your glucose levels, helping you spend more time in range and freeing you from painful finger pricks. If you test your blood sugar at least 4 times per day and inject insulin at least 3 times per day, or use an insulin pump and have private insurance insurance or Medicare, you might be eligible for a CGM with little or no cost to you. Call U.S. Medical Supply today for a free benefits check. We offer free shipping, 90-day supplies, and we bill Medicare or your insurance directly. Call now and say goodbye to finger pricks.
800-633-1378. 800-633-1378. 800-633-1378. That's 800-633-1378.
Hi, I'm Larry Scott, host of the Not So Christian and Me Show. Join me Saturdays for great fun, interviews, music, and the latest news surrounding our world today. We are the show that cares to hear your voice and opinion with real conversation in a no judgment zone. So join me Saturdays from 1 to 2 p.m. on the Not So Christian and Me Show, right here on the legendary KYOK Radio, 1140 AM, and the all-new 92.3 FM and KYOKradio.org.
I'm Ben Tankard, and you are listening to The Lunch Break.
All right, it is The Lunch Break on the legendary KYOK, all-new 92.3 FM, streaming live, KYOKradio.org, and broadcasting live on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Twitter. And Valencia, can you sing? Can you sing Happy Birthday?
Can I sing Happy Birthday? Of course I can, but everyone that's listening would change the station.
No. We don't want that to happen.
Just let okay, no, all right.
We're going to shine the flashlight on some people celebrating the birthday today. Got to give a lot of love to my brother, J.J. Williams. He hosts the Afternoon Delight on our flagship station, KWWJ. Celebrating her birthday along with Danielle Watson, Audrey King, Sharon Bostic, Summer R. Lattimore celebrating her birthday. And then my brother, like no other, Overseer Robert Smith. It is his birthday today. Again, if you know people that are celebrating their birthdays, get them to us, and we'll do them each and every day that we are on the air. And because Valencia and I are saving our voice for something else, here we go.
Oh, go shawty, it's your birthday. Ooh, it's your birthday. Go shawty, it's your birthday. Today's your day. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to all y'all celebrating your birthday today on the lunch break. So, yeah,
And,
you got to give us that pressure on there to do it so we don't have to do it. You know what I mean?
Of course. And shout out to Blue the Great, Brian Blue. His birthday was yesterday. So he's, you guys may know of him if you see the Jordan 1s that are blue, yellow, and like green and red. He designed the Jordan shoe. And shout out to the homie. He was just in town DJing and everything like that. So.
Yeah, we got to give some love to one of the kings like that. Go on, Brian Blue, celebrating that birthday yesterday. It's your month, man. Get it in. All right, so now help us get it in. Luka Doncic apparently suffered an injury, cervical injury in Game 3. It had definitely affected him in Game 4. Now they get ready for Game 5 tonight. Series tied at 2 each. What's happening with Luka?
Listen, Luka, the Mavs, I don't want to just say Luka because the way that the entire team performed in games 3 and 4 doesn't just fall on Luka. I know Luka, Carlisle being the head coach, Luka being the leader of the team will, of course, take ownership because that's what they do. But it's a team effort. You win if you're going to win as a team, you lose as a team. So, of course, you're looking at Luka, you're seeing, okay, can he battle through this injury? What exactly is this injury? It's affecting the way he shoots and passes. But, of course, when he's asked about it, not that he minimalizes it, he just doesn't like to lean in on excuses, basically. And so when I'm looking at the Mavs tonight, if it's not coming from Luka, then it needs to come from somewhere else. Because it's not as though all these people, all of our roster, they're professionals. They know what to do. They know how to play this game. They've been playing it since they were yay high. So it comes to me when I'm looking at this Mavs, I need other people to step in. And when you get out there, I don't care if it's for 60 seconds or 48 minutes. I need you to give it your all. And I need it to look as though the effort is there. We don't need any questioning. You know what I'm saying? It's really now or never. Do you want to win or do you want your season to end? That's really what it comes down to, because I'm looking at on the Clipper side of things. the momentum has shifted to them because they obviously probably didn't expect to go 0-2 at home. So they knew they had to make up ground on the road. And when you look at game 3, when they came back from being down 19 very early on, when you get a team down 19, now obviously it's a long game, so people are going to make runs, but that can deflate your team quicker than you know it.
Yep.
Especially when you don't anticipate being down 19 early on. And so for them to rally back and not just win, but, win with a little edge, that does something for your team. And so it says we can not only beat them, we can be down and beat them. So we don't know why we lost to them before, but it's not going to happen again. And that's how the Clippers have been playing. And it showed in game 4. So now that the Clippers are going back home, just listening to their media availability, yesterday, hearing them say, we're going back in front of our home crowd and going to try to do our best to give them what they deserve, which is a win. And I believe it. I believe it. I don't know if Dallas is going to have that same road determination like they did in games 1 and 2, because Clippers already know that you can win in their home court.
Right.
So now they're going to do everything to stop it. It's. Yeah. I know you asked me about Luka, but it's past Luka to me.
No, I agree. That's why I want to have you on the show, because I know you know the ins and the outs of it, covering them the way you do. I am Valencia King, joining me here on the show. You also were the one that pointed out that the Mavericks did not play well at home. I didn't realize how prominent and prevalent that was. And here we go. They dropped 2 on the road, but like you said, they were able to get 2. They dropped 2 at home. They were able to get 2 on the road. Can they go in there tonight and, like I said, somebody step up, regardless of Luka or Kristaps or Tim Hardaway Jr. Can somebody lead the way to them getting another one on the road and having a chance to close it out at home?
Yeah, that's what it's going to come down to. I would almost prefer that it be, like we said earlier with Drew Holiday, a sleeper pick, if you will. Now, not to disrespect anybody on the Mavs roster, but it needs to be somebody that LA don't see coming. Because LA has a game plan for Luka. They have a game plan for KP. They have a game plan for THJ. They have a game plan for Jalen Brunson. So anybody else who's, out there, and whenever your time to shine is, I don't know if the Clippers really have a game plan for a Willie Cauley-Stein. Maybe we need to rethink that. Or even Dwight Powell, who got a little bit of late run in game 4. Tyronn Lue was asked about Dwight Powell, and Tyronn even said, of course, now the starters were not out there while Dwight was out there, but they did notice how Dwight played against their, the rest of the team when they got their bench. So now they may have a little bit of a game plan for Dwight Powell, so it won't be a surprise. But those are the guys that I'm looking to. Maxi Keebler, they know about, but I need you to show out. I need you to show up and show out. So it's just tonight it really may come down to everybody but Luka, everybody but KP.
We got Valencia King joining us. She's the host of Real Talk Sports and The Dialogue. The Clippers got some momentum over the weekend. Yeah, I feel bad saying this, but they're still the Clippers. You can still have a bad Paul George game. You can still have games where other guys don't quite get it done. Pat Beverly's just running around doing his thing and ain't doing nothing offensively, what have you. What would it take for the Mavericks to put the Clippers back in that situation versus them having all the confidence and the momentum that they had while they were in Dallas?
I think it starts with Kawhi, or maybe it even starts with PG. One of the two, because if you can shake them out of what they're used to, when you look at games 1 and game 2, I don't think the 3 ball was just falling for the Clippers like they know it can. So I look at the Mavs. If you guard the perimeter, if you have somebody underneath, and I think you just have to exert all of your energy on every single play. I mean, you may get a couple of unneeded fouls when you're playing that hard, but if that's the price you have to pay to win the game, then so be it. Gotcha. And when I look at the Mavericks, making any and all free throws is going to be a kicker, because if you recall games 1 and game 2, they were free, but the Mavs were like, oh, we don't like free. We want to pay.
Yeah. I've been surprised at the level of free throw shooting. I'm talking about from the college game all the way up to the pro game. It's like those are free. Like those are free. You just knock it down, take it, and go. But again, we're going to be watching. That one's going to be tonight. It'll be the late game, 9:00. Again, that series is tied 2-2. Last night, Phoenix got one step closer to eliminating the Lakers. LeBron James has not been put out of the first round of the playoffs in 15 tries.
Mm-hmm.
In 15 tries, has not lost a first-round playoff matchup. I don't think this is about LeBron. I said similar to what you said today. Anybody other than LeBron, they're not the same team without Anthony Davis.
Mm-hmm.
But they can't get Anthony Davis out of Montrezl Harrell. They can't get him out of Marc Gasol. They're not going to get him out of Andre Drummond. Kyle Kuzma. When is Kyle Kuzma going to step up and show the organization that they made the right choice in keeping him versus keeping Brandon Ingram?
Right. So my thing with Kyle is he was, don't quote me on when it was happening, but he was like getting into his stride and he was balling out. And then for some reason I looked up and he was always out of the rotation.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, did I miss something? Is he like in timeout? What had happened? Because it wasn't an injury, anything like that. And so when I look at how Kyle's being implemented, it seems like, okay, they're trying to bring him back in. But there was a period of time where he just wasn't in the rotation as much as he normally was. And I think that can affect you as a player. Now, obviously, these guys are all professionals. They know their role. They got to come in and make it do what it do. But I think that can play a small part in it. And especially if you just haven't had plays up for you in a while, because when you got LeBron and AD on your team, you're not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know. So when you are immediately asked to just step up and be that guy, when you haven't been asked to in a while, it may take some time, but in the playoffs, you don't have any time.
Yeah,
you
that's
just
true.
gotta do it.
Got to do it. And again, that one is going to be one we'll keep an eye on tomorrow night, 9:30. It could be the closeout of that run by LeBron James if they don't get it done. And here's the thing I like about Phoenix and Monty Williams. You can't even put all that other win on Chris Paul. Chris Paul went out early. Them young cats stepped up. They stepped up and said, not today, not tonight, Lakers, not tonight.
Can we just take a moment? Because it's campaign time. All right. It's the campaign. And I remember interviewing Campaign in his rookie season. Like, I saw the vision. This guy puts his heart out there on the court every single time. And I love seeing him shine right now because it has been a journey for him to get to this point. And he is, I'm obviously not in his inner circle, but seemingly he never lost the faith in himself. He knows what he's capable of doing. He has put in the time and effort to maintain it and still get better. And then, of course, when you have somebody like Chris Paul on your team, I would expect you to continue to grow and continue to get better because that's what Chris Paul seemingly does for any team he's been a part of. We can remember it from OKC last season.
Right.
So I'm just so excited for Campaign. Like if you see, I'll make sure I tweet out my interview with him from his rookie season and my DMX challenge that I did. He was the one interview where we were dancing and dabbing in the locker room. Like he just loves this game. He loves this game so much. So I'm so excited for him. And honestly, we saw when Memphis beat Stephen Curry and the Warriors, I mean, God's fall too.
Right.
Respectful to anyone's religion. I'm just saying it as a phrase, you guys. But legends fall too. So it happens.
Listen, all good things come to an end. Wasn't Cam the one that when Ja found out that Cam got drafted, Ja was like, wow, I'm just so happy for him because you don't know what all he's been through. Wow. I just remember, and I thought that was Cam that he was talking about.
Yeah, it might have been. Yeah.
I love that. I love this group of young lions that are ready to take that next step. So, and then we got to talk about Dame Dollar. God, man, come on. What else can a brother do? What else can a lion do? What else come on, 55 points, 10 assists, and he made 10 threes. I'm just, what else can a brother do? If he's standing on everybody's neck right now, you just let him stand there until he get tired.
Basically. And I don't want to take anything away from Denver.
We'll get to them.
Right, but when I say that to say is that I felt like Denver was trying to give the game away. Like Dame was like, "Nah, you left the window open. I'm climbing through. If you didn't shut the door and lock it with the bolt and then some, then I'm coming through."
That was the epitome of this one ain't over yet, right? All right, we still playing. You still playing.
The party ain't over. Listen, Dame, Dollar. And my thing is, obviously, Portland lost. So yes, he broke all these records. He did amazing. They seemingly played amazing, except for a final couple of plays here and there.
Right.
They have to let it go. They have to move on. And it's not a new concept, because after any game, no matter how it goes, okay, close game, blowout, you lose, you have to flush it down the toilet and move on to the next one. So of course it may sting a little bit more because in the playoffs right now, the stakes are a little bit higher, but I imagine Portland getting the next game. I do not see them going out in the next game, because now, not that it wasn't necessarily personal before, but I feel like now it's like, oh, okay, all right, you got one, it's cool, you got one, but it's not over. The window's still open. Yeah, I still feel the breeze coming through.
I gotta say this: Lillard took 2 more shots than CJ McCollum and scored 37 more points than he did. 2 more shots and scored 37 more points than he did.
And as soon as the NBA opens up the 4-point range, it's over.
I got to take a break on that note. I got to take a break. We'll be right back with Valencia King as we wrap up the lunch break. When we come back, we got to give away that family 4-pack to the Houston's Children's Museum. We'll do that when we come back right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM.
If your loved one has passed away due to COVID-19, pay close attention to this message. You could be entitled to a death benefit of over $300,000. The U.S. government has set up a fund to pay families relief if they've lost a loved one due to COVID-19. We know this is a hard time for you, and this fund has been set up by the federal government to help ease your pain. The compensation includes a death benefit and lost wages benefit. Time is limited, so we urge you to make a free phone call right now. There's no cost to you for this claim. All legal fees are only covered once you receive your money. So if you've lost a loved one due to COVID-19, call the legal helpline right now to find out if you qualify for a cash award. Here's our number: 800-876-7047. 800-876-7047. 800-876-7047. That's 800-876-7047. Paid for by the IPG Law Group.
1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legendary KYOK.
Hey, what's up? This is your boy James Fortune, and you are listening to The Lunch Break. Keep it locked.
All right, y'all, back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK, all new 92.3 FM. Got to give some love out to Willie Gibson, sports broadcast journalist out of Columbus, Ohio. He dropped me the clip. He said that was Kobe White of North Carolina when Cam Johnson was drafted. So, yeah, Kobe White was the one who was like, wow, wow, wait a minute, wow. So, yeah, okay, all right. I thought it was Ja, but I see where I got mixed in. And Willie Gibson knows his sports, man. There ain't nobody knows.
Shout out to Willie.
He won the ESPN, what's that little sports challenge that they used to do? He won that twice, back to back. Should have won it the third. Should have won it the third time, but they pulled a little Florida on him. They had some hanging chads or something going on. But anyway, let's do this. Caller number, pick a low number because we got to get ready to go, Valencia.
Caller, let's just deal with number 3.
Caller number 3, 281-453-1000. That's 281-453-1000. You'll get a family 4-pack to the Children's Museum, and that's a $200 value. That is a $200 value. If you want to get out of the house and get the kids to be able to do something fun, I got a family 4-pack to caller number 3, 281-453-1000. You win. All right. Now, while we were I look up and she got her phone out to me. Hold on. Yeah. Hi. This is Kim Valencia. You are hilarious. All right. So, man, look, I lost my train of thought fooling with you. Again, Denver got the win, 147-100 in double overtime. And now, I mean, Denver has Portland on the ropes. Denver's got Portland on the ropes. So what do you think? You said you think Portland's going to get this next game, come what may.
Yes, I do. I know that seemingly, obviously, by the way the playoffs work, yes, Denver only needs one more game. Portland still only needs 2. So technically, Portland's on the ropes. But I think there's always going to be pressure to win on the road, and to try to close it out. We can even see Boston was able to get one game in. So when I look at that, I really think Portland is going to come out like no other. I don't see them just going out like that. I'm not saying they're going to get a blowout win over Denver, but Denver, the little mistakes that Denver made to send it into overtime, not once but twice in this last game, I don't think they'll be able to make those mistakes and Portland lose again in Portland. I don't see that one.
Let's look at some of tonight's games. Hold on real quick. Hello, you call it number 1, try again. Hello, you call it number 2, try again. All right, so the next person that calls, you are the winner. You get that family 4-pack right here on the lunch break, 281-453-1000. That's a family 4-pack to the Children's Museum. It's a $200 value, and you can pick it up. The next caller is the winner. Tonight, Philadelphia hosting Washington, 3-1 Philadelphia. But once again, no Joel Embiid, whole different outcome of the team and of the game. What do you think can happen there or will happen there?
I know we're talking about the game, but can we just talk about Bradley Beal and his quote about if he feels safe or not? Because I think it also applies to the game. I think that energy is going to go towards the game too. Bradley Beal was asked, with some fans being atrocious and behaving so disrespectfully, a reporter asked him if he felt less safe, and Bradley said, "No, I don't," because they can throw things, but they would never come up to me. And he said, not to use my hood terms, but these hands work. Okay.
Oh, and I missed all of that. Where was I?
Yes. Bradley Beal said, these hands work. Okay. And I just feel as though he's going to bring that same energy to the game. All right. So I think if Philadelphia does want to close this out, they got to go through Bradley Beal.
I like all of that. That's my kind of smoke right there. That's forget all the play. That right there, go over there and you want to. I want to see it. I want to see it.
Yeah.
I like the way that is, and again, no shade at Joel Embiid. I praise well, what have you. But I like the way that Washington responded. All right, he's gone. Let's get it. And they did. They walked him down, and then they handled their business. But was that an emotional spurt that happened in that game, and now it's going to be back to normal after that?
I would hope not. I would hope that because Washington was able to get that win, they see what they can do, and they see how their game plan can work with a Joel Embiid and without. So if Philly's going to be without Joel again, then run it back, fix the little tweaks here and there, and run it back and get the win. Because we've seen teams come back from being down 3-0, 3-1. Yeah, it doesn't happen all the time, but we've seen it happen. And I think just real quick, going back to Denver, I think that's what gives Denver so much confidence, because didn't they do that twice last year in the bubble?
Yeah, they did.
So, so just bringing it back to Washington for the moment, I think they have to see what they did right, fix some mistakes, and run it back. And they have to make Philadelphia create or perfect their game plan without having Joel Embiid, and where we can see that they haven't.
All right. I'm feeling that. I let's go to this other series. New York Knicks hosting the Atlanta Hawks, 6:30 Central. Atlanta up 3-1. What do you think's going to happen there?
You know, this one's in back in New York, or is it in Atlanta?
This one is in New York. They're back in Madison Square Garden.
Okay. All right. That's a little helpful. I would think that the New York fans, the Knicks fans, would be the sixth man off the bench, hoping to give their team, keeping them in the playoffs because they've been wanting this for so long. But I think Atlanta closes it out. I think they do.
I think so too. And I think they do it on Madison Square Garden's court. I think they do it in the Garden. I ain't talking about the Boston Garden. That one's closed already. I'm talking about the Mecca. I'm talking about Madison Square Garden. So I think I agree with you on that one. Then you got Memphis at Utah, 8:30, 3-1. Utah is up in that one. What do you think?
I like Memphis. They're young. I wanted them to go a little bit further than the first round since they went ahead and beat Steph Curry. I mean, if you're going to beat Steph, you might as well try to win it all.
Why not? What are you doing?
But I don't see Utah letting this opportunity go because I think they do respect Memphis enough to know that if we give them any momentum, they may take it further than we want them to. So I think Utah closes it out.
Okay. The find of the season for me, Mike Conley. Conley. Everybody thought Mike Conley was kind of done on that last leg. And Mike Conley was a nice addition to Donovan Mitchell and Gobert and the other fellows over there in Utah. So I'm liking it. I have a feeling, as much as I like Memphis, and I really think you get Memphis now because next year after that, you ain't going to want Memphis. You ain't going to want to deal with nothing. So I think that that group is probably going to be about a year away, and Utah is probably going to pull this one out tonight. All right, so hang on. I got folks I've had them on hold just to see how serious they were. Let me see who's calling in to get these tickets. Hello, you're live on the lunch break. Who's this?
Hi, my name is Krishan Turner.
Krishan, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing well. We are giving you a family 4-pack to the Houston Children's Museum. How about that?
Woohoo! Awesome.
Look, I like that. Hoo-hoo. I like that. I like that. Krishan, do me a favor. Stay right there. I'll get your information, and then I can let you know how we'll get these tickets over to you. But thank you for calling in to win these tickets right here on the lunch break.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
All right. Stay right there, okay? All right. I like that.
Woohoo! Yes. Woohoo! I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it.
That's why I never won anything on the radio, because I'd be like, what? I won. You want a pack of gum, sir. All right, well, I ain't never won nothing, so give me my gum.
Let me have it. The whole pack. Not a piece better be missing.
Oh, my goodness. And then, of course, we got to get to the late game, the Mavericks at the Clippers. Who's going to win that one tonight?
Well, one more thing on Memphis real quick. I think Memphis is in that realm where Phoenix Suns were a couple of years ago. They're the newer young team. And just how Phoenix went 8-0 in the bubble, but still couldn't make it into the playoffs. And now they're here and they're not shutting up about it. I see Memphis being that next young team. So like you said, get them now, because in a couple of years, you ain't going to want them. Yeah. And even though Mike Conley, we don't talk about him enough, I guess, like as an NBA whole, he's kind of like a Chris Paul in the sense of like whatever team he's going to go to, that veteran leadership is going to make them better. So
it's going to be run very well. So
exactly.
You got Mavs tonight or Clippers?
Well, for my sake, so my season can continue. I would love the Mavs to win. All right, let's go Mavs! Woohoo! Boom boom!
Tell everybody where they can find you and follow you, niece.
Yes, absolutely. I am Valencia King, and you can follow me across all social media sites at I am Valencia King, because, well, again, I am Valencia King. Bada bing, bada boom. There it is. So make sure you check out my YouTube channel as well and subscribe for all NBA type of content, original content as well. The YouTube channel is Valencia King TV. But again, if you type in I am Valencia King, you'll find it like that as well. Thank you as always for having me on, AJ. Uncle AJ in the building. You know the vibes.
All right, Valencia. We'll talk to you soon. Tell the family I said hello, okay?
Will do.
All right, y'all, let me get out of the way. Donnie McClurkin up next with the Donnie McClurkin Show. He'll give you the best in gospel music, latest in the gospel music industry. I got to get our winners' information so we can get her that family 4-pack. But as always, let's not be divided. Let's be united. I love you. There's nothing you can do about it. Listen, wear your mask where you're supposed to. Wash your hands like you're supposed to. Be sensitive to everybody. Give them their distance. And when you see that racism, kill it. Not the person or the people, the racism. How do you do that? You don't laugh about it. You don't joke about it. And you definitely don't spread it. You stop it. All right? Y'all be blessed. Donnie's up next. We'll talk to you soon.
He'll take away sorrow.